In this new digital age of fast-paced, short-lived memes and this constant stream of brain rot passing through our social media feeds, from the depths of the internet, a breath of fresh air, a meme asking about something relevant for once, the Roman Empire. Apparently, no one seems to understand why men have such an obsession with the Roman Empire, to a point they think about it very often. Some, like me, think about it every single day. And you know what? I think the answer to it is remarkably simple. And even better, it is often depicted on Roman coins. Let me introduce you to virtus, one of the main virtues, principles of what a good Roman should be. And maybe we should discuss how we can apply the Roman virtus to our modern lives during these troubled times we live in, where maybe being a man, having a purpose, can be seen as maybe something troublesome. Let's get started. On the background, I'll show you a selection of coins in my collection that feature virtus. Interestingly, for such a masculine deity, after all, that's where we get words such as virility, to express ideas that are so very masculine, Virtus is not a god, but rather a goddess. This most likely has to do with the fact that virtus is a feminine word. Latin is a gendered language. Anyways, she was the Roman goddess of courage, valor, discipline. Originally, she was restricted to the ideals of men in the military, but as we enter the imperial period, so that's the end of the 1st century BC, Virtus becomes an all-encompassing ideal of male excellence. Visually, she never lost her militaristic vibe. As we can see here on our coins, she was depicted as a woman in military attire. She reminds me a lot of Dea Roma, the incarnation of the city of Rome itself. And, of course, Roma is a very militaristic deity. Her representations usually included stuff like helmets, shields, and spears, emphasizing these core virtues of bravery, of discipline, and doing what was necessary to overcome adversity. So this expanded, more complex view of virtus had deep philosophical roots connecting her to the Greek concept of arete, the idea of total excellence. Arete was central to Greek culture, signifying the pursuit of personal greatness through positive habits. Imagine continuous self-improvement, ethical living, steadfast courage in the face of life's hardships. The concept of arete is really straightforward if we look at it through examples. You work in a certain profession? Well, if you're going to do it, you might as well pour your soul into it and strive to be the best. Are you a living man with a soul that inhabits this vessel, this body? You have a body, so take care of that body and train it to its maximum potential. Or as Socrates would say, it is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable. And are you a citizen? Are you a member of a group, a polis, a group of fellow countrymen? And you engage in public life? Well, you better strive for an absolutely incorruptible character and a flawless execution of any public obligations or dealings you might have with your fellow citizens. Virtus therefore carried this tradition forward into Roman culture, embodying this pursuit of excellence and uncorruptibility, despite the harsh realities of the ancient world. And that's one of the key things of virtus. The ancients, and well, any pre-industrial society, they faced scarcity, warfare, disease, and a level of uncertainty, frankly, we today really have a hard time grasping. It's not like we're living in utopia. We certainly live in a world full of problems, even if you live in a rich Western nation, which this channel's statistics tells me the majority of you watching do. In fact, going on a tangent here, I wonder if the current economic situation and stagnation many of the middle class are facing isn't one of the reasons why many seem to be beginning to turn to the classics in search of different kinds of testimonies from this old, harsh world. Maybe people are trying to understand their daily struggles as these become more severe. I would certainly be curious to read in the comments if you look to the classics in order to understand the problems of your life. And this week's episode is kindly sponsored by L5, the new online marketplace for ancient coins. L5 is a platform that focuses on trust, transparency, and low fees. It is an environment where you can safely buy coins to add to your collection, knowing every item listed has been vetted by specialists, with a lifetime guarantee of authenticity, and the new system of online bidding that ensures fair, transparent bidding. No sniping, no shield bids, just a fair trading environment for buyers and sellers. L5's proposal is to eliminate all uncertainties beginners and experienced collectors alike might have when buying a coin, while offering a low-cost service with no listing fees and a buyer's premium of just 5%. Make sure to check out L5.com for what I believe is a new platform that the ancient coin market was in need for. So, that was reality back then. Life was brutal, violent, and short. People faced a reality of scarcity and challenges that would emotionally break most people today. And Virtus represented the ideal response to these realities. Resilience, courage, and a commitment to rise above mere survival, lest you succumb to your animalistic tendencies and become not a man but just another beast. I think we all know one or two people who just gave up and fell into nihilism. We might even have stared into this abyss ourselves. Virtus inspired individuals to strive for greatness, ensuring their actions would be remembered and respected despite overwhelming adversity. Her presence was this powerful reminder that true virtue and lasting excellence came from confronting hardship head-on and prevailing through discipline, courage, and just sheer strength of character, just like arete that the Greeks enjoyed so much, excellence. And here's where I loop back to the idea of why men are obsessing with ancient Rome. It's not only because the idea of practicing virtus is highly appealing to that inner Roman legionary, Viking, emperor, gladiator, super manly man and competent guy we all have inside of us, but it is a great generator of purpose in a world where it's hard to find your purpose. Or even worse, certain purposes you might consider perfectly masculine, productive, and wholesome might be deemed toxic. That's a key word that should resonate with many of you watching it. Purpose. In the ancient world, character was forged in the fires of just the obligations of this brutal daily life. It was found in the tons of sweat, service, and discipline, and just sheer sacrifice that were needed just to survive. That's why we find depictions of virtus not only in coins struck during hard times like the 3rd century AD, we also find them in coins from reigns such as the one of Antoninus Pius, probably one of the best moments in antiquity to be alive. Because even though it might have been the best moment in Rome's history to be alive, it was still a pretty damn hard life. And this ruthless world created not just strong individuals, but strong communities. There was a dignity in fulfilling one's role, however harsh, because it was necessary. That's something many modern men find themselves hungering for today. Not brutality, not war, but clarity as to why they do the things they do. And here's the problem. In this modern life, we've removed most of these immediate pressures. We don't need to hunt to feed our families. We aren't being called up to defend our cities. Well, at least for now, I'm not sure about the near future. And with that loss of material struggle, a different kind of struggle has emerged. One of the soul. The challenge here is existential. Why practice virtus when you can't see the manifested results of its practice? Is there a point? Even worse, will I be called toxic for doing it? But I think, even in this world of internal struggles and external comforts, virtus still matters. Virtus doesn't ask for excellence for a purpose. Excellence itself is its purpose, regardless if it will manifest in the external world. That strength of character still counts, even if no one is forcing you to develop it. And for men who feel lost, this is often what they're unconsciously searching for, something worth struggling for, something that demands more of them than they thought they had to give. And God forbid we return to these brutal times our forefathers had to live in, but there is value in the simple fact that if it was to happen, you carry yourself with such a high standard that if you were thrown in a world of physicality, you would have the stamina and the strength to withstand it, just like a legionary who had to march carrying dozens of kilos on their backs for miles and miles every single day. You had the ingenuity and the sharpness of mind that if an unusual problem presented itself and you didn't have a cell phone to look at a tutorial, you could just handle it. Or, I don't know, if a conflict with your fellow man flared up, things are heating up, and you were the one who had the cold head to just talk firmly with reason and prove to everyone that you might be strong, but you also are better, intellectually better than the beasts who crawl on this earth. I know this video on coins has transformed itself into a philosophical rant, but for God's sake, you are watching a channel on ancient coins. You probably like philosophy anyways. And in case you prefer stories in order to grasp concepts, one of the best ways to understand virtus is by reading the work of the Roman poet Silius Italicus. In his work Punica, published at the end of the 1st century AD, in this book he tells the story of a young Scipio Africanus. If you don't know who this man was, Scipio was the legendary general that saved Rome in the Second Punic War by finally defeating Hannibal. In this tale, the night before Scipio was given command in Spain to fight against the Carthaginians, he was sleeping and he received a divine visit by two deities, Voluptas and Virtus. Voluptas looked absolutely gorgeous. She was this wonderful woman dressed in expensive and delicate silk robes. She had a perfect skin. She moved in a sensual way. She was absolutely gorgeous. As the book puts it, her eyes promised warmth. Her smile invited rest. This was Voluptas, pleasure in its purest form, the kind that sings you to sleep on cool pillows and fills your hours with music, scent, and softness. The other woman, Virtus, just stood there, looking at him. Her garments were plain, she looked quite strong and manly, she didn't wear any kind of ornament, she wore a cuirass, not jewelry, her hair was tied back, most of it was obscured by her helmet anyways, so it's not like you could see much of it. Someone could have easily confused her with a man. This was Virtus, duty and discipline. Voluptas was the first to speak in this soft voice. She said, "Why chase storms, young Scipio? Why burden your shoulders with Rome's wars when the gods have placed every comfort before you? Look at you in the flower of youth, and already the world whispers about you, many with greedy and violent intentions. You could stop now, take your fortune, live quietly, far from the killing fields. There are vineyards waiting for you, friends waiting with open arms, lovers who would adore to share your bed, not because you command, but because you charm. I offer you a life free of strife, no scars, no funerals, no memory of blood. You will still be happy. Isn't that what life is all about?" Virtus was really impatient, so she raised her hand and the pleasurable mirages Voluptas was invoking up in the air, they faded away. And then she spoke. "You speak of happiness, sister, but your kind of joy dies quickly. Your comforts melt in the sun like wax. You promise freedom, but you chain men to obscurity and weaken them, making them lose everything when it is the moment to defend what is theirs. Virtus then turned away from Voluptas and looked straight at Scipio. Now, I do not promise ease. I do not offer rest, but I offer meaning. She pointed up, and the image of a tall mountain appeared in front of Scipio. Through me, you will know fear. You will know hunger. You will feel bitter cold and scorching heat. You will mourn. You will suffer. You may cry. But your suffering will not be in vain. For what is pain? A pain that passes. And if you tolerate it long enough, as a price, it will make you immortal. Voluptas then interrupted. And why would he suffer? What has this boy done to deserve such torment? He is not even yet a man. Let him live. Let him love. Let him enjoy this brief hour he has been given. Let him enjoy the blessings the gods so generously gifted him. When the world ends and it all burns, what will all of this talk of honor and strife matter? Virtus did not even look at her. She kept looking at Scipio. Now I will not lie to you nor make this easier. I will not hide the wounds. I will not pretend the world is kind, but I will walk beside you. I will make you show all that is good that lays deep inside of you, and I will show you the heights that only the brave can reach. You want to be remembered, not for your name, but for your deeds. You want Rome to speak of you as they speak of the heroes of old, of those who bled and did not ask why they bleed. They bled because it was their duty to do so. Virtus then grabbed her spear and pierced the floor with it. That's an interesting detail. On Roman coins that depict Virtus, she is often seen piercing the ground with her spear. Her spear is almost always pointing down, so maybe the story and the coins might have been connected. Maybe the story was famous in Rome back then. Virtus then said, "Choose, Scipio, not with words, but with will, with action. The time is now." And at that moment, Scipio understood that what he did in life would echo through eternity. As he placed his hand on Virtus, he chose his destiny. He then woke up from his dream, and the rest is history, so says the legend. So how about you, my fellow coin collector? Would you choose Voluptas or Virtus? Even better, what does Virtus represent to you? I'll leave you with that question. Let us know in the comment section what you think. I hope you enjoyed this philosophical episode. Happy collecting, and I'll see you soon. Let me give a special thank you to all of my amazing channel members and Patreons for their generous support. This channel would not be the same without your help. And if you would like to be part of this list, have early access to my videos when they are uploaded to YouTube, and a series of other perks, make sure to check out my Patreon page and my members tab on YouTube. Thank you very much.